Welcome to Jamaica Magazine. I'm Adrian Atkinson. Coming up in our program, we'll be tackling health as the CEO of the National Health Fund is here on Get the Facts. Then later, we find out more about how we can exercise while having fun on a bicycle in the Breadbasket Parish. You don't want to miss a minute, so stay tuned. The National Health Fund is an agency that provides financial support to our national healthcare system in order to improve its effectiveness and affordability for all Jamaicans. This week on Get the Facts, we are joined by CEO Everton Anderson. That's next.
Welcome to Get the Facts, the program that provides you with information on government's policies and initiatives. I'm your host, Enthros Campbell. Now, when you hear the name National Health Fund, you think of a card that allows certain individuals to get free medication or medication at a reduced cost. But there's more to the agency, as it also supports the development of our national healthcare system. Chief Executive Officer Everton Anderson is here to tell us about the broad operations of the NHF. Mr. Anderson, welcome to the program.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Great. Remind us of the mandate of the NHF. What was the organization established to do and how it is funded?
Right, the National Health Fund was set up some 15 years ago to provide support to healthcare in Jamaica. And at the time, it was thought that the agency would cover some key illnesses in terms of the medication aspect of care. And I think we started with 13 chronic conditions in terms of coverage, and it really provides support to persons, Jamaicans specifically, who have those chronic conditions. We also provide support to public institutions in terms of support for capital projects, supporting health promotion programs, and just generally providing support in great areas of need in healthcare in Jamaica.
Yes, and the direct benefits to us Jamaicans. Who benefits? How can they apply? Let us talk about that.
Right. Well, the NHF and JADEP cards are our major platforms for offering health servicing to beneficiaries. For the NHF card, once you're diagnosed with any of the chronic illnesses listed, and we now cover 17 conditions. I think we recently added 2, sickle cell in 2015 and lupus a few months ago. Once you're diagnosed with any of those conditions, we have our application form. Your doctor verifies you have the condition. You then come into any one of our offices and you get your card within 15 to 30 minutes. Initially, the benefit was mainly offered through our Kingston office, but we have listened to our stakeholders and we now have access to the NHF card on a same-day basis in every single parish in Jamaica. For the JADEP card, it's a card for persons 60 years and above. So once you get to 60 and you are diagnosed with any of the chronic illnesses covered, then you can also get the JADEP benefits.
All right, so the JADEP card is for 60 years, person 60 years and over, but yes, the NHF is for any age.
Any Jamaican, regardless of your economic situation, regardless of your age, once you have that chronic illness, then you can qualify. Then you qualify for the NHF benefit.
Right. About how many persons do we have benefiting now from these two initiatives?
Right. Our total beneficiary count to include JADEP and NHF is about 818,000 persons who are enrolled on these programs. 818,000 Jamaicans.
Right. Can you speak specifically to the illnesses that are covered?
Right. I mentioned earlier we cover 17 illnesses. Yes. And this is based on the illnesses that most Jamaicans would be affected by. So it includes asthma, arthritis, diabetes, hypertension, and other chronic illnesses, lupus. We also cover breast cancer in terms of the drugs, prostate cancer, and a number of other illnesses.
Right. So in terms of the cancer, you do the drugs, but do you do some of the treatments like chemotherapy or radiotherapy?
No, we only do the drugs.
Drugs.
We actually provide a larger subsidy
Yes.
for those drugs because of the high cost of cancer care. So we provide drugs through our card programs for breast cancer and
Right.
prostate cancer.
All right. Any plans to increase the number of illnesses? If so, what are some of these, and how soon can we expect?
Well, we have an active discussion at the fund as to coverage. It's largely based on the funding that we have. So we go through a process of analysis every year to determine what is possible. And as you notice, in the last 3 years or 4 years, we've added 2 new illnesses. So we're always looking at new illnesses that can be covered.
Ms. Anderson, tell us a little bit more about the application process for the 2 cards. The NHF is, how is that done? Persons have to take a form to their doctors who would verify. Expand on it for me.
Right. The application process is very simple for both cards and similar. The first thing is that you have to be diagnosed as having any of the chronic illnesses. You then get your physician, your doctor, to sign on the form indicating and confirming that you have the illness. You can then get either JADEP or NHF card at any of our locations island-wide. Initially, we would offer a 7-day service at our head office, but we moved to a same-day service at head office, and we've expanded that same-day service, and it's available in every single parish in Jamaica.
Okay.
So if you get a diagnosis at midday, you get the form completed half an hour later and get to our office, you leave with your benefit card within 15 to 30 minutes in every single parish, because we really wanted to broaden access and really send a message that we're serious about providing an excellent service to our customers.
Tell us about the costs as it relates to both cards, the different payment
Right.
cards.
Well, for the JADEP card, the drugs are free of cost, except that beneficiaries contribute to the dispensing fee, which is $40 per item, up to a maximum of $240. So no beneficiary will pay more than $240. For the NHF card program, we provide a subsidy. And
$240.
maximum contribution for the
Yes.
JADEP program.
Yes.
For the NHF card, it is a different arrangement where we pay a subsidy depending on the illness. It ranges between 40 up to about 70%. We provide a greater coverage for conditions like breast cancer and prostate cancer, where the cost of those drugs tend to be a lot more. And the beneficiaries will then co-pay.
Yes.
And in some cases, they have both the NHF card and the health insurance card, which leads to a lower co-pay, which
Yes.
allows greater
Right.
access.
So I have a health insurance with a private company, and I have the NHF card.
Right.
I can use them together.
Right.
And there's no charge for getting the card.
No, the card is free of cost, and the
Yes.
process of accessing is really good. And I have to give the highest commendation to our 476 private pharmacy providers who support the
Yes.
program and have helped us to deliver what we consider to be an excellent service to the people of this country.
Okay. Let's take a break now, and we continue with more on the National Health Fund. Stay with us.
Jamaica Social Investment Fund, JSIF, celebrating over 20 years of investment in community development. JSIF has forged relationships with international funding partners, as well as private and public sector entities. Let us continue to invest to reduce vulnerabilities. Let us build our social capital and resilient infrastructures to ensure full participation in Vision 2030. JSIF, investing for community development.
Welcome back to Get the Facts. We continue our discussion with Chief Executive Officer of the National Health Fund, Everton Anderson. Mr. Anderson, the NHF is responsible for procuring and distributing pharmaceuticals, as well as managing the public sector pharmacy services. Explain, tell us how that works.
Right. Well, the process started in 2011 when NHF assumed responsibilities for what was then the Health Corporation Limited. So we've moved from that to now providing what we call end-to-end management of pharmaceuticals for the public health system. So we procure drugs through an international competitive tender, we warehouse drugs, and we also get the drugs to the hands of the patients. So it's really a massive operation that we run in that program, and we've seen our numbers move from under 1 million prescriptions annually. Last year we did 2.5 million prescriptions and dispensed over 10 million prescription items to over 500,000 Jamaicans who access care in the public health system. So it's really an awesome task that we have embraced, and I would have to, at this time, recognize the staff of the NHF who have embraced all these changes and have really performed very well despite the challenges that come with offering such a huge service.
Right, so the benefit to us would be that you know what drugs are in the system, and so your clients will be able to access the drugs. You know that the drugs are there, and so we can access them easier. Yes?
Yes.
All right. Yes. So you have now have a faster turnaround time of issuing the cards, but I know that you have other initiatives to benefit your clients. Tell us about that.
Right. I spoke about the pharmacist service earlier, and I just want to speak a little about this. We have moved to really modernize pharmacy in the public health space. Our warehouse, which we inherited, is now ISO certified, and 4 of our large pharmacies are now ISO certified.
What does that mean?
It means that we've added a significant quality element to our processes to ensure that what we do is of maximum benefit to our clients.
Yes.
So we've added a pharmacy management system which enables us to move drugs around in a most efficient way. So the drugs don't belong to Cornwall Regional or KPH, it belongs to the system. So we're able from a macro perspective to look at where the drugs are and to adjust drugs based on patient needs at any point in time.
Yes.
In addition, we've managed to have significant reductions in waiting times through innovative initiatives like quick prescript, scheduled refill, and we are really working with our clients, bearing in mind that long waiting times can be a major barrier to access. So I really want to say that our staff have embraced this service, and it really has made some strides, and we are not done. We will continue to improve.
So this complaint about persons going to the hospital and their relatives having to go outside to get medication, is that a thing of the past? Are you moving towards improving that service?
Well, I think we have made some strides, but we have to contextualize in that the government has a list called the VEN list, vital, essential, and necessary. So at times, if a physician prescribes an item not on the VEN list, then we would not necessarily have that item. So persons will have to go outside. But I think we're now able to measure what we call fill rates, and we're now at between 85–88%, meaning that of every prescription that comes in, we're able to fill 88% of the time.
Very good.
So I think that is very important to note.
Yes. Talk to us about your drug-serve pharmacies.
The drug-serve pharmacies are predominantly now focused on managing a huge public sector load. As I mentioned, we have moved from about 1 million prescriptions annually to 2.5. We have some locations where we serve 400 to 600 patients per day. That is a very huge undertaking. So we really had to take a very creative, innovative approach to managing the service, bearing in mind that speed in dispensing is only one important factor. Medication safety is also important. So we have really managed to make those pharmacies a lot better. and we have plans to partner with our patients to do even more.
Yes, but people, if I have a prescription that I would take to a regular private pharmacy, if I go to the drugstore pharmacies, do I get the medication at a lower rate at the drugstore pharmacies?
Are you speaking as a private patient?
As a private patient.
Right. Well, we predominantly, as I mentioned, are focused on the public patients. The private patients that we now see would be those cases that we define as special. For example, those items not easily available in the private sector. So we provide cancer drugs, we provide items for hemodialysis patients and other special services.
Okay, right.
But our work predominantly is related to serving the public patients.
Okay, all right. Okay, so tell me about some of the other projects that you are working on to improve the health sector.
Right. Well, initially, the NHF started financing health projects. But for the last few years, we've moved from not only financing these projects, but to actually project management and execution. So we have done so many projects across the country. This year alone, I think it's 1.7 billion in project funding and management that we are in charge of.
Yes.
So we've done major projects.
What are some of these projects?
Elevators, new equipment. Our largest project was the construction of 2 cancer treatment centers, one in Montego Bay, one at St. Joseph's, and the value of that was about $15 million US. And we executed within time without any major cost overrun. We have an excellent project team who really understand that the needs of the public have to coincide with excellent facilities. I think for the most part, the response has been very positive. I would have looked at the core NHF benefits. The customer satisfaction has always been over 95%. For the pharmacies that would have just come on, they are about 85%. And apart from those figures, we have created avenues for patient feedback, which we use as a guide to build service excellence. So I think for the most part, it has been good, but good is never good enough in our sphere.
Yes.
So there are always plans to get better in the interest of the patients that we serve.
Great. Anything on the horizon, like soon, within the next few months or year?
Well, we have a team that says there's no 100% in what we do.
Yes.
So there are always new innovations. We have patient scheduling systems that we're working on now. Our major thing that we're doing in the next few months is a patient education and medication compliance program, recognizing that making the drugs available to clients does not mean that they will take them regularly.
Yes.
So we're actually piloting with the Pharmaceutical Society of Jamaica a program where we will manage 2,000 beneficiaries, manage them, and we actually do research to see what makes them compliant, see if we can implement that on a broader scale throughout Jamaica.
Yes. And before we go, the cards, we don't have to renew them, right?
No.
Once you get them, it's for a lifetime.
Once you get them, take care of them. But if you do lose a card, then we can give you a replacement card in the same quick speed in which you would have gotten your original card.
Okay. Mr. Anderson, thank you so very much for sharing with us on the NHF in this week's edition of Get the Facts.
My pleasure.
This has been Get the Facts with our guest, Everton Anderson, who is Chief Executive Officer of the National Health Fund. Until next time, I'm Rose Campbell. Take good care.
St. Elizabeth is dubbed as the breadbasket parish, which means there is a lot to explore and even more to eat. What better way to do it than on a bicycle? I'm guessing that thought never really crossed your mind.
of Treasure Beach in St. Elizabeth, you're thinking of swimming, eating fresh fruits and vegetables from neighboring farms, or even the catch of the day. But the area has more to offer, like Red's Cycle Tour.
The name of my business is Red Cycle Tours, and yeah, we offer different rides. That all depends on your fitness level, right? Because what we're doing is promoting sports tourism, you know, in that sense. Keep it local and at the same time fitness and wealth. So the tours, we have like the farm tour, local farm tour here, it's about 2 to 2.5 hours round trip. As we are about to go on a cycling tour, a real adventure that explores Treasure Beach and our environment here. We're going to go to the farms this morning, and you're going to meet the farmers, and then you're going to learn a little about what makes Treasure Beach. So welcome. Safety tips: we stay on the left, 2 bicycle length apart, right? If and when you do have to hit potholes, right, you hold on your brakes before, slow down, and then flow through. All right, the bikes are pretty good. They're all suspension, and yeah, we should be good.
Well, my helmet, I'm all right. Am I all right?
Yeah, all right, man. Don't take it too much that you can't talk, you know.
Oh.
Jesus Christ. That look choky, man.
So in terms of health-wise, how does cycling help with that?
Cycling is a complete exercise, like swimming. Yeah, your entire body, all the muscles in your body, yeah, actually work because you have to be pushing and pulling at the same time. So it's a complete exercise. And plus concentration. When you're on the road, you know, with cars and stuff like that, your concentration, you know,
Has to be on point.
yes, have to be on point. So you're, you know, as I said, a full body workout, and then your mind have to be sharp at the same time. So it's a healthy way.
I know, because especially coming up the little slope, I feel it
You
in
feel
my
it in your thighs.
goodness.
That's right.
But what made you start the bike tours?
Started out as a chef, a baker and a chef, some years ago, and then started to meet people. And that's where the idea came about. They wanted to explore. I started out by just hiking, like walking tours, and then the idea came about using bicycles. And add to that with the GX Triathlon, that had helped me to propel the whole idea and put it together that, you know, yeah, people need bikes when they're here, and they need to explore our area and, you know, meet our people and, yeah, and learn our culture.
And see what exactly St. Elizabeth has to offer.
What St. Elizabeth has to offer. Because as you know, down here is the food basket.
Is that a hill?
It is a hill. It's your first one.
My first hill? I don't think I'm moving. Hold on, I need a rest. That was a hill and a half. First hill, the rough. This bike tour is no joke. No joke. I feel it in the thighs. I didn't even know I was moving because my legs were dead, like dead. One day somebody won't like push me.
This is off the beaten track now, and this is where it's fun because then you get to see all the farmlands, all the cantaloupes and the watermelons and the escallion and you name it. Everything that is farmed here in South St. Elizabeth.
We are now at Liquor Park, Treasure Beach. Here is a farming area. Here you have the tomatoes and cantaloupe also, but these cantaloupe are a bit younger. So now we are mulching the land to get a good produce, a good production. So if you don't mulch it, then the result will be poor. And the chemical wise, you have to spray for the insecticide and etc. Fungicide also. These are some unique melon that they have here. They call it the tangerine, or some people say the pineapple, or the orange. This is the orange one, in my understanding. It is not common to every farmer. It's a bit unique. So the higglers and they call them the marketing personnel. They yield for this type of fruits because they sell fast.
bike tour is almost like pedestrian then. They go into the little nooks and crannies and lanes where people live. They see how they live, they see how their houses are made. And they are intrigued by this, you know. For example, some Europeans or Americans are where they come from. Have never seen people cooking on wood fire, for example. And when they go into these little lanes and so on, these people have their kitchens made from native material, whatever. Sometimes there's no building at all. It's just a pile of stone on which they make a fire and they cook and wash and so on. So that is interesting to them. You go into the far reaches of their mind and let them inquire further. How these people came about. How did they live like this? How did they learn all these skills?
The journey was amazing, especially the downhill sections. Cycling offers you a good leg workout, so if you are up for the challenge, this is definitely the activity for you. Thank you very much, Damien.
If you want to participate in the bike tours, you know, that I offer, you can come here to Jake's because Jake's is a big supporter of, you know, of all the tours that I do. We also offer the Lover's Leap hiking tour, which is a 1,750 feet drop, about a 4 hours round trip with going to the bottom and back.
Recent rainfall in sections of the island has certainly been needed, but we can't forget that it comes with potential hazards like increased opportunities for mosquito breeding and the spread of diseases like dengue. Dengue can be treated effectively if there is timely intervention, so it is very important that care is done appropriately and correctly at the right facility.
The severity of dengue ranges from a very mild disease to severe disease. What is important is to recognize the warning signs. Many persons are waiting until it is severe dengue. And not just severe dengue, but many persons are waiting until they see signs of bleeding before they go to hospital. Okay? But severe dengue can occur without bleeding. All right? So it is important for persons to recognize the warning signs. And these warning signs include persistent vomiting, abdominal pain or tenderness in the abdomen, or signs of confusion, lethargy, persistent lethargy, restlessness. Okay? What those signs are signs of decreased perfusion to the brain. It means that enough fluid is not going to the brain because persons are dehydrated. Okay? The dehydration and the signs of dehydration are very important to treat.
Do your part, get tested, and get treated as we aim to make Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business. Thanks for watching another edition of Jamaica Magazine. Do join us again tomorrow when we'll do this all over again. Send your feedback on today's show to jamaicamagazine@gis.gov.jm. Also, follow us on our social media pages, Instagram, Facebook, and of course, there's Twitter. Download our app on your Apple and Android devices, and you can also visit our website, jis.gov.jm, for more information. On behalf of the entire production crew, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.